Hey, what's up, family? In today's video, we are going to go over container garden updates, the status and lessons learned, and next steps. So with that being said, let's begin. Hey, what's up, family? My name is Mia, and welcome to my humble abode. My Afrobeamia Home is a channel where we teach urban dwellers like yourself how you can use your space to be more sustainable, self-sufficient, and live a simple life. So, if you're interested in doing food preservation methods, gardening, DIY, and applying sustainable habits to your space, then you've come to the right place. I had to think of what else I needed. First, before we get into the container garden updates, let's talk about how I'm doing and also what I've been doing. First of all, if you have not checked out my community, I would say a month or so ago, I had to put our family doggo, Fred, to rest. He was suffering from renal kidney failure, and we had him for about nine years, and that was hard. It was to the point where it was just getting too bad, and that was the best method. I just had to take a moment out to breathe, really reset, because that was my baby, one of my babies. So I had him since he was a puppy. So rest in peace, Fred. Yeah. Second thing I had to take a break for was work. Being an IT professional on top of being an educator and a content creator, it's been a lot. So those two things kind of just hit me at once to the point where it became overwhelming, and I just had to take a step. So we got that established. Let's get into this container garden update. I'm going to approach this in different phases. The first thing I'm going to tell you is the recap. Secondly, I'm going to talk to you about the layout, and then I'm going to go over the challenges and solutions. For those who are just now joining, this is my second attempt at container gardening. I did a video at the start of this project to kind of go over the lessons learned and the recap. And if you have not seen that video, I will go ahead and post it in the link above and post a link in the description below. But in that video, I share my lessons learned and why I was burnt out. Because when I did the container garden a few years back, I was stoked. Since it kind of failed, I fell off and I didn't touch it for a few years. Not because I couldn't believe that I could do it, but Mia tends to be a little harder on herself than necessary. In addition to trying baby plants, about July, I started working with seeds. So at the end of July, I went ahead and wanted to see if I can grow seeds because the baby plants were doing so well. And I've learned a lot about the baby plants, or my smaller plants, that are doing amazing now. From seeds, I did Swiss chard, green onion. I tried to do kale. Something ate that up. And I switched some of the herbs out, and also radishes. That's what I did from seed. So some of them did amazing, and some of them I've learned a few things that I could do differently next year. That's pretty much what I've done. Oh, one more thing that I'm thinking about. I also did some testing to find out what was going on with my plants, or the condition of my plants. So that's what we've done so far in regards to the recap. Now, let's talk about my layout and how it turned out. My goal is to have a little bit more land, or enough land to where I can grow more fruits and vegetables. I told myself that this time I'm gonna start a lot smaller and get really good at that, and then break out from there. So that's why I thought my patio or my front porch was the next best thing. It was small enough for me to learn and understand how the plants go and to maintain. It was also where I could see it every single day. So I can water my plants. I could tell when they need water, need fertilizer, and all that good stuff. Also, when I'm cooking, I can just come outside and get me some vegetables, cut them up, or rinse them off, cut them up, and do what I need to do. Now, if you notice, because my porch was so small, so I had to make sure that all my plants were laid out on the outside. All my shorter plants, smaller plants stayed in the front. My taller plants, or potential taller plants, stayed in the back. I also grouped them up along with the companion plants where one can complement another one without it, because there's some plants that you can't put next to each other because they may not do well. So that's why I organized it the way I did. Another feature about the layout is that I didn't want my plant pots and dirt sitting directly on the porch. So what I did was I took little stones and put them under them and just kind of lifted, or wood, and lifted them up to where once they start draining, they can drain down to the front porch or to the porch, and then it drains onto the ground. But it also gives the front porch time to dry. So that was the layout. Next, let's go over some of the challenges and the solutions to some of the issues I was having. Oddly enough, I didn't have many insect issues this year. Maybe it was the marigolds that I put out there. It was just too high up. I don't know, but I've seen more beneficial insects on our plants versus insects that will destroy our plants. I think the only plant that struggled this season was my cucumber plant. Outside of that, pests were not a big thing. I saw some wasps and everything, but I wasn't freaking out. It was not what I expected from what I've experienced before. So I'm happy about that. So another thing that I experienced is blossom rot. And after applying what you all recommended, now I'm starting to see that my plants are a lot better. They're starting to produce versus earlier in the season, they were kind of producing real slow. Another challenge that I faced this year was slow growth. I believe it has something to do with fertilizing because I'm still learning what's the best fertilizer for garden plants. And when it comes to fertilizer, I'm going to start, I bought some this year, but after learning from you all, I'm definitely looking forward to learning more natural ways to add fertilizer to my plants, because that seemed to have done it for the tomatoes. So I'm going to start doing more research on what I can try to help my plants be successful the next season. And finally, pots. So I was being sustainable, and I tried to use as many pots that I had in-house first before I went out and purchased some more. Now, the benefit of that is that I was able to use a lot of pots that I had in my home at first. However, one of the challenges I came across was using the concrete pots. So on my front porch for my peppers, I have a concrete pot that's about 3 feet, 2.5, so about 3 feet tall. And with it being concrete and you water it, it will go dry. If it's hot outside, it will go dry in like a couple of days. So I have to constantly rewater it, constantly rewater it, and so forth and so forth. On one hand, it is annoying because I have to constantly rewater. However, on the other hand, it's not, because it seems like my green plants have, my green pepper plants have done phenomenal in those pots. So I think the lesson for me is to figure out how I can get the most out of those concrete or clay pots. And if you got any ideas, let me know in the comments below. So that's pretty much an update on the garden for this year. And I'm still going. Overall, I would say this year was successful because I was consistent and because I grew vegetables. No matter if some of them went bad, no matter if bugs were eating up some of the things, but the overarching goal was to really stay consistent and to, because eventually I want to, as I mentioned, I want to own my own property with a lot of light that I can grow more and more food for myself and my family. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that I shared enough information for you in regards to the updates. I hope I inspired you. And yeah, if you have any comments or advice that you have because you have a container garden, let me know in the comments below. And if you have not already and you would like to, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like and the notification bell. We definitely appreciate it. Oh, and also tune into some of our videos because we appreciate that too. With that being said, thank you guys and gals, and you guys be awesome and be easy. I'm about to go upstairs and work on homework. So you guys have an awesome evening and stay super-tastic. Peace. Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in to My Afro-Bohemian Homestead. I hope that this video helped you in some shape or form, and it inspired you to consider urban homesteading in your space. That said, if you have not already, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can join the family. Plus, it helps us out. And when you get a chance, go ahead and check out our other videos over there just to see what we're about. You know, we talk about DIY projects, urban gardening, and also food preservation and whatever else is relevant to homesteading. So it'd be nice for you to join us and check us out and maybe teach us a thing or two. That said, thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, enjoy simple living and stay super-tastic. Peace.